How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine.
Nose wise and
I'm feeling better. Not all the way well, but better.
that's good. And two, I'm gonna
Are you gonna meow the mirror?
yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but it's fine. We're just gonna meow the mirror right now. I think what she means is she doesn't have any pants on. She's got underwear but not pants on, so she probably means she's gonna put some pants on. Maybe is that what you meant?
No.
No. You're gonna deal with something on the phone.
Yeah.
All right. She's dealing with something on the phone. That's what she's doing. So anyway, if you're here to watch her meow the meow, sorry, not gonna happen. She's just dealing with something on the phone.
Yeah, my mom. I'm texting my mom back because I know if I don't do it right away, I will forget.
Why don't you just text her to watch the live stream? Tell her we're saying hi to her right now. Hi, Rachel's mom. How's Florida? I hear it's cheap, comparatively cheap. You went out to dinner. You had a glass of wine with dinner, and you spent under $9 was your bill. That truly is remarkable, and it makes me want to go to Florida. Let me tell you what the opposite of Florida is. Hawaii. Oh my God, how expensive is everything? Please.
Yeah, we were just talking about the expenses of Hawaii this morning.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Oh, right. The title and topic of the video. Isaiah Root asks how stuffed. Bacon chimes in. I got some bad news for you, Bacon. You're stage 8 fully enlightened. There's 9 stages. You're not quite there yet. As humanity's only stage 9 enlightened person, I'm the only one who's qualified to tell you whether you're stage 9 or not. To give you an example of how accurate my stages are, you know Leo from Actualize.org? He's stage -3. Obviously. Good question. How do you get to the next stage? That's the sort of question that I'm here to answer today. All your questions about enlightenment, actualization, realization, optimization, individuation, and all other such things. So, before I proceed with my lecture on enlightenment, please give me a moment to pull this bong rip.
Ooh, the flu going around, as they say.
Are you sure it wasn't just a cold as they rude? I had a cold. I was out for about 3 days with a cold, but but you actually don't have to be stage 9. I think it's stage 6 you get transubstantiation powers for bong rips. Bacon probably should already be able to transubstantiate him. He's an 8. He's one of the very few people who've even gotten even close to 8. Most people don't ever get above 3. A lot of people stuck in the minuses for a long time. I actually didn't get to 8 until I got with Rachel. She's what's called Enlightenment Nitro, which is the official, I think, term from the Japanese. Nitro. Nitro.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it means a burst of energy that pushes you through the final conquest stage of enlightenment. See, most Zen Buddhists and stuff will try to tell you that enlightenment involves not caring about conquest and being detached and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's stage like 6 or 5 enlightenment. Stage 9, you go back to ass kicking again. And except this time you do it in an enlightened way. Yeah. Most optimal cheese for cheese consumption. Trick question. There is no single most optimal cheese. It's whatever cheese you have right now. That's the most optimal.
Oh, that is such a good answer.
Okay. Well, that's not a horrible curse, Isaiah Rude. That's called life, okay? I too have that same phenomenon. And all it just means is you have to do more than +1 work towards enlightenment every year. That's the other answer, Chase. That's also an acceptable answer. Cheddar is the acceptable answer. If you didn't give my answer, then cheddar would be acceptable too. That's the other right answer. Correct, Chase McDude. Correct. So as I continue on with my discussion of enlightenment and enlightenment-based activities, let me talk about something that's not necessarily related to enlightenment, but it's important as well. It's called $100 OG. So that's what the strain of the weed is called. It doesn't actually cost $100. In fact, I got 14 grams of it for $150, which is to say it's about about $40 an eighth, a little less than $40 an eighth. But at this weed store, they had the various shelves, like shitty shelf, bottom shelf, top shelf, connoisseur shelf, and then they had one weed that they called elite, and that was it. The only weed that they had. It wasn't even a shelf. It was like, this weed is better than all the rest of our weed, so we're charging it for it. That was this weed that I got, and I am in fact pleased with it. It's a good, clean smoking weed.
Yeah, it is.
I'm having addy withdrawals at the moment too, in the sense that I am correct, Bacon, correct. It's actually because the Mercury's in retrograde. It's a mirror thing. Look,
yeah,
we've been having some mirror shit going on with us today, but because I'm stage 9 enlightenment, and Rachel, I can't tell her enlightenment stage actually because of personal feelings prevent me from seeing clearly. It's very rare that happens, but with Rachel it does because I actually have a lot of feelings.
This is facts.
Facts, yeah. So, go ahead, sorry.
I would say, though, that your original answer of 8 would be pretty correct, I'd say. I'm at 9.
8.6 maybe. Yeah. Now remember, as Isaiah Rude sort of indicates here, and it's true, nobody stays at 9 full time. I'm at 9 right now, but I could slip back down as low as 2 if a bunch of crazy shit goes down.
It happens. Oh my gosh. Well, we had number plus minuses yesterday.
I mean, look, what we had was the demonstration of what happens when you pull some 9-ass enlightenment out on some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Because life was mirroring the fuck out of us all weekend. Which is to say, Mercury was up in our retrograde. It was pointy. It did not feel good.
No.
I was ready for it to stop. And at the same time, what did we not lose this whole time except for maybe once or twice the whole weeks we've been together? What did we ever not lose? We didn't lose our cool. That's what we didn't lose.
Even if we did lose our cool, it was so ridiculous that we were just like, all right, whatever. Like, I don't know. I moved on pretty quickly because I was laughing at my own ridiculousness. I was never ever like looking at you for it.
Right.
Ever.
We don't tend to attack each other when we get snotty. We attack things, not each other.
Yeah.
And knowing that they're probably going to annoy the other person, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that. No, I haven't called the rental place yet, old Mick McGraw. Don't rub it in. Now, Bacon, you can't transcend transcendence while sleeping or while doing anything else, because if you transcend transcendence, you embody transcendence, and that's not transcending it. Obviously. No, you don't need to have TI justifications for breaking up with somebody. If you think you do, you're doing it wrong.
A breakup can't be black and white.
Who says that?
No, I said that.
Oh, I think breakups can be that black and white. It can be like, I don't want to be with you because you're mean to me.
Yeah.
Look, the whole purpose of cheese is not to prevent people from killing cows? I mean, the purpose of cheese is to be delicious cheese.
That is the purpose of cheese, yes. So.
The thing is, there's no such thing as vegan cheese.
But there's vegan butter.
There's no such thing as vegan any of those things. Butter definitionally is dairy. Cheese definitely is dairy. You can't have vegan dairy. It's a oxymoron. So what I would say is it's vegan cheese food substitute.
Yeah.
Or
it is.
Vegan meat food substitute.
Yeah. It is.
Make substitute. It sound as gross as it is. God damn it.
I the only time that I ever really was like, yeah, vegan over like, I guess not vegan, was that butter. I couldn't believe it, but it was like $8.
Well, you know what shocked the fuck out of me was your wonderful gluten-free toothpaste.
Aww.
Why? Why would they make toothpaste gluten-free?
Isn't it gluten-free?
You don't eat it. You don't eat toothpaste. Why would somebody intentionally go out of their way to get gluten-free toothpaste? That is so dumb.
Oh, no. I swear I didn't get it because it was gluten-free. I got it because it didn't have fluoride in it.
That's fine. That's a perfectly good reason to get it. You don't like fluoride or whatever. You ingest a little, probably.
It was a little ridiculous mostly because I heard that fluoride is bad for your pineal gland.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, fluoride free.
Well, when you reach level 9 enlightenment, your pineal gland resets.
You know who has a pineal gland that's visible?
Who?
The ENTP from Naruto.
Pineal Paul?
No, the president woman.
Oh, Tsunade? What do you mean?
Yeah, Tsunade. She got the diamond.
Oh.
That's over her. That's like the third eye.
Oh, is that a pineal gland?
Yeah, she's
what actually is a pineal gland, though?
Which is located in the bikini.
I want to know more about my pineal gland. Is that even a real thing? Is there really a pineal gland?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. It could be debated.
Why don't I hear nearly as much about my thyroid gland? I never hear people talking about my thyroid gland. They're always talking about my pineal gland. Seems a little creepy to me.
I said it wrong for the wrong, like it's
a pea-sized conical mass of tissue behind the third ventricle of the brain, secreting a hormone-like substance in some mammals.
Some.
Pineal.
Pineal. Why did it peak here? What does the pineal gland do? It produces melatonin, a serotonin-derived hormone which modulates sleep patterns in both circadian and seasonal cycles. Why is the pineal gland commonly dubbed the third eye? Its location deep in the center of the brain and its connection to light. Mystic and esoteric spiritual tradition suggests it serves as a metaphysical connection between the physical and spiritual worlds. 10 mysterious facts about the pineal gland. René Descartes once described the pineal gland as the principal seat of the soul. Though medical knowledge has vastly progressed since then, here are a few things you might not have known about this critical organ. Though the pineal gland wouldn't be fully understood until the 20th century, descriptions of its anatomical location are included in the writings of Galen, a Greek doctor and philosopher. This itty-bitty little gland, located very deep in the center of the brain, gets its name from its pinecone-like shape. However, at about 1/3 of an inch long in adults, it's smaller than your average pine cone. A lot smaller than a pine cone. It's actually a crucial part of your endocrine system, which regulates major bodily processes such as growth, metabolism, sexual development, and releasing hormones. It connects the endocrine and nervous systems. Because the pineal gland was the last of the endocrine structures to be discovered, scientists considered it a mysterious organ. Today we know that unlike much of the rest of the brain, the pineal gland is not isolated from the body by the blood-brain barrier system. Melatonin inhibits the release of pituitary reproductive hormones known as gonadotropins. Gonadotropins? The pituitary gland affecting male and female reproductive organs. In this way, melatonin, therefore, pineal gland regulates sexual development. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I learned a few things about the pineal gland. Imagine not getting the third eye metaphor. I don't understand what you mean.
Third eye wide, like that.
I read that. Okay. NF types think it contains DMT and the key to enlightenment. Joe Rogan is probably ESTP or something, but he eats that shit up. Probably from all the isolation tank sessions. There are two paths to the pineal glands. Glands. Isolation tanks and being level 9 enlightened. Look, I had a bowl of deviled pineal glands for breakfast. What I do is I harvest a bunch of pineal glands. I very carefully peel the skin off of them. I blend the inside part and I put it back inside of the skin. I eat that. The second can only happen if you're INFP, INFJ, ENFP, and ENFJ simultaneously. Is that how you make an ENTP, Isaiah Rude? You add INFP plus INFJ plus ENFP plus ENFJ, and you get ENTP? That is surprising. I'm surprised you don't have to add any INTP into that.
Ooh, true. That's a very good thing to know, actually.
Yeah, Isaiah Rude, I'm not sure your cognitive function math is right. There might be some half-assed second slot TI you're using there.
Or is INTP that different from ENTP?
Hard to say. But I tell you what's easy to say. That is the name of the dressing that I want on top of my deviled grapes salad. Okay? Deviled grapes salad. We were walking back from the car and we noted the bees on the rosemary, getting the rosemary blossom nectar. So they're very small little flowers, a lot of little flowers. So you have to take each of the blossoms off independently, like blow with a little straw or something to push out the nectar from each one independently. Okay. I want a bowl of deviled grapes salad with rosemary blossom nectar dressing. It's going to be a very, very difficult meal to make me.
Very intricate.
Yeah. Key chains of nothing are cool too. INTP plus INFJ plus ESTP plus a pinch of ESFP equals ENTP.
I would debate the ESFP part.
I would say INTP, yeah, I kind of like the first three
Yeah.
things combined. Actually, does seem to almost equal
Yeah.
ENTP.
Me too.
But your NI didn't kick in. Of course, you ignored it, and so you just tossed in a little extra. I don't want it to just be NI though. He said, "Devil's grapes are just grape juice water bombs." They are kind of like grape, like raw grape sausage is what it is. Raw grape sausage.
Oh, so nasty.
You don't want to watch grape sausage being made.
Grape juice water bombs. Ew.
That would be like the ultimate rich girl sorority drink to consume would be, instead of like Jello shots, would be deviled grape bangers or whatever. They come up with some sort of name, like slammers, you know. Deviled grape slammers. We're having deviled grape slammers, which are like deviled grapes, which are just basically filled half up with the grape and the other half with vodka, you know.
Yo! So on point with that.
Right. And then, you know, the next day people were talking about the party. They ran out of devil's grape bombers in like 5 seconds. It was like, oh my God, they're all gone already. It was all over the flyers. They had like 5 of them. I don't know how long they said it took them 6 hours to make 5 of them.
Yeah, yo!
And you know, they're tiny. It's not like they're big grapes. Right. Okay. Fair enough, Isaiah Rude. So anyway, what we're talking about today is, I believe, level 9 enlightenment and how important it is to reach it. So I like to say what you want to do, because there's some other people out there on YouTube who can really help you with this. So I'd start by watching Leo at actualize.org. Start by watching him and realizing if you're doing any of that shit, you're like in the negatives of enlightenment. Okay. Is there anything you added to your cognitive function type model recently? And I ask because I'm curious at how you mentioned how you first had to put the model out there with complete. I mean, the only thing that's sort of still evolving, and I'm trying to figure out exactly kind of how the instrumental and absolute values work for each of the functions. I'm not sure, for example, if, like, for example, I'm not sure if instrumental and absolute seems nuanced enough for a tool function to say that it's instrumental all the way, because that, and additionally, it's like, hi, Sarah Pereira. It's Sarah Pereira.
Sarah Pereira.
You're one of my favorite named people. Yeah. It's so great to be able to talk to somebody named Sarah Pereira and hear their story about how she had to make that choice, you know. She was a single woman. Her last name wasn't Pereira. You know, it was something normal, like, you know, Barkley, Sarah Barkley, something like that. She met a gentleman. She had to ask herself, does this gentleman sweep me off my feet enough to marry him? Of course he does. But wait. Does he sweep me off my feet enough to marry him, even though his last name is Pereira?
That's love.
And my first name is Sarah. And she had to sit there by that statue by Rodin of the guy going like this. She had to sit there by that statue, do the same thing for 10 long hours. The pigeons started landing on her, building nests in her hair. Until finally she stood up and shook them off. They all flew and she said, yes, I will marry you, Mr. Pereira. I will be Sarah Pereira. I just wish to hell my middle name weren't Modera. Yeah. Well, it doesn't rhyme. Sarah's middle name does not rhyme with era. It has no era in it.
No.
Okay, it doesn't. I don't remember what it is, but it's not Schmera. It's not Para or Bera or Kara, or could be Kara. Kara's a name. It could be Sarah Kara Pereira. That would be great.
That would be great.
Sarah Tara Kara Pereira would be great as well. which MBTI type is Bernie Sanders? He's got to be ENFP. He has to be.
Yeah,
I don't know what else he could be.
I agree. He's highly likable.
Yes, multiple middle names. Tara, Kara, Farah. She could be Sarah, Tara, Kara, Farah, Pereira.
He could, yeah.
She
Wow.
could be that.
There are a lot of things that go with Sarah.
Let's see. Sarah, Kara, Latera, Nonera, Pereira. What about Farah, though?
Sarah.
And why do you have two different forms of Tara? Marie. That doesn't rhyme with Sarah. Duh.
She really came. What up, Raphael? I saw you said hello before. What is going on in this chat and here? Things and stuff.
Yeah, stuff and things are both happening. I'm going to smoke a quick hit of conversation on a cigarette. I don't think we're that serious.
No, we were. I don't think we were being serious at all.
Well, I was being pretty serious. You know, like kind of serious. Like her name really does rhyme.
It does.
I was being serious about that.
Hey, Sarah, SFP. Isaiah forgot that he used Tara twice. Wait. Herrera. Sarah. Lara. Kara.
Yeah, Clara is a good one.
Yeah,
as well.
Clara. A name so rhymey has to help in enlightenment. Yes, I agree. I found bacon. It does.
I mean, I know she's at least level 2. With a rhyming name,
Yeah,
I don't think it's
2.
possible to be below level 2.
No, you get 2 points for rhyming name.
Unless you're a subscriber to actualize.org, in which I think you get -1 level right off the bat.
Well, right. And that's why 2 is perfect because it's a rhyming name that she chose.
Yeah.
So.
It gives you an extra level right there.
Yeah, it does.
That she chose it. Right?
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's just 1 level if you didn't choose it. It's 3 if you did.
Makes sense to me, you know.
And she also didn't name her kids the same kind of rhyming names. If she had, she would have lost levels again then.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because then you're making a thing of it.
And that is a thing.
Right.
And you don't want to really make a thing of that. Like,
you don't want to make a thing of it.
No.
You know enough other people like Eric are going to make a thing of it.
Exactly.
You don't need to make a thing of it yourself. People like me can't not make a thing of it.
Exactly. And that's why your mom said that your name should be Eric. Your parents agreed on Eric instead of, what was it? Heinrich.
Heine.
Yeah, your mom knew.
I'm glad my nickname is Heine.
Me too. Bacon, I found you. Aww. They're running to each other in a field. How do you get to stage 9? Asks Sarah ISFP.
Ooh, it's a long, arduous ordeal of spiritual awakening. It begins with long hours of torturous meditation. You've got to jog for weeks on end without stopping. You've got to starve yourself. Then you got to drink a little bit of water, then way too much water. Then you got to be like, eat mostly cottage cheese for a week. And pretty much that's it.
I read that in the magazine, so it's accurate. Especially the cottage cheese part. So can I buy it at the store?
No. Well, look, you can get licensed for it by all licenses all the time, of course. Naturally.
Now that increases the enlightenment, no?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you can get all licenses all the time to license you as enlightenment level number 9, then you are. That just is. Because The final arbiter in all such matters is all licenses all the time. Now, it is not easy to get licensed for anything by all licenses all the time because, I mean, I've gotten a couple licenses from them, but I can't actually verify that anybody else has been licensed for anything. But I'm assuming they have.
Well, no, remember I was licensed.
Oh, you were
like,
licensed, right? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I don't keep track of everyone's licensing, it's just my own. So it's good to be reminded. You obviously got that in the mail at some point, and
you told me.
I told you. Oh yeah, it must have been delivered here, I guess.
And that's how I know it's not that easy to get as well. There's like stuff you gotta go through in order to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were also the first and only. You're the only licensed moderator on the channel. All the other ones are just moderators that I choose and stuff, but you've been licensed by all licenses all the time to be a moderator and talking with famous people.
Thanks, Faye. I take my job seriously.
I'm pretty sure whoever runs all licenses all the time is Enlightened level 9.1, which is a little bit better than maximum.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when you are 9.1, then you're able to deem people level 9. I can only tell whether you're not level 9 yet. I can't say if you are level 9, then I can't say for sure you're not level 9.1. But there's only one level 9.1, so you can't be that unless you're whoever runs all licenses all the time, whose identity kind of changes periodically, and it's not quite clear who it is. I know it's Sir Ronald Ronchon is the name on the corporate paperwork, but he's kind of a mythical figure in and of himself. No one's really sure if he's still alive. He said to have faked his death over 30 times, his own death, successfully.
Some ego.
he had a lot of credit card debt.
I can believe it. Is it a lot of metaphysical paperwork? That is a great question.
Well, it can be. It depends what kind of metaphysics you consider paperwork. How the fuck do you find your enneagram? You take your cognitive function stack and you add it to your big 5 and take the square root of that. And that's your enneagram number.
How did you find it?
I just read about it. At first, I had it wrong for a while.
Did you?
Unlike my cognitive function stack, I believed my tri-type for quite some time to be 783. Then I had side by side a list of like descriptors of 783 versus 784. I found that somewhere someday, and I on almost every single one I chose where there was a clear like distinction between the two. I chose the 4 side and not the 3 side. So I concluded I was 784.
Yeah.
And I think that's right. And I understand Enneagram better now. And if I'd understood it how I understand it now, I think I would have said I was 784 to begin with. But because I was achieving a lot at that moment, like I was doing really well in my business, my debate stuff, and kicking ass and taking names and feeling like a big pimp or whatever, I assumed I must be 783. I knew achievement wasn't very important to me, but I was achieving, so I thought I must be an achiever, I guess.
That's a good way of explaining it.
Does Enneagram 1 necessarily make one a coward? No,
I'd say the opposite.
No, it makes them not foolishly confrontational. Eights are confrontational even when it serves no further purpose. 8-second slot, I like it where it is in me personally. I like having 8-second slot. I can kick ass and take names when I need to, but I'm not really motivated by it. Like, for example, I'm kind of putting up that call the dollar renter car because it's just like I'm having a pleasant day,
Yeah. I knew I was a 7. Like, I knew I was a 7 right away. What did I do? How did I find out? It's like one of those quizzes or whatever, I think, or a book. And like, I was like, oh my God, like, this is so me. I think I identified with the fear stuff the most.
Well, Taylor, who he also pointed me to a type 7 description by Naranha, I believe, that I still reference and say, that's about as good a description of me as anything I've read as far as cognitive type descriptions. Yes,
I know that
Yes, its name sounds something like the word for orange in Spanish. I don't know what his name is. Naranjo. Okay, there you go. Is Bay.
There's Bay.
There's a generational difference between Taylor and me there. That's very youth of you. I appreciate it. We were having a chat earlier in the car about me having to go through a couple of different manifestations of not understanding new words for Instagram. You know, the first time I heard somebody refer to the gram, I was like, what are you talking about? And then the first time I heard somebody say IG, I was like, what's IG? And then you realize, oh God, the kids are making up new words again. God damn it. Well, Dolan, if we're buffering, then just start suffering. Let's see. What I was talking about was Enneagram stuffs. And I think 7 is very it's very defining of a person. And maybe the first number of Enneagram is very defining of a person.
I got very emotional. It made me realize all myself, like I can be very self-centered, and it helped me accept those parts. Like, I don't know, I definitely understood myself a lot better because I do magical thinking stuff where it's like, you know.
All right. Well, listen, I just want to say in response to this, I will reset the internet when we're done with this live stream because it's been like weeks since I've reset it, so it probably could use to be power cycled.
True that, yeah.
The thing is, yeah, I think us being type 7s is in a lot of ways almost the core of us getting along so well.
Yeah.
It's like I respect and you respect this. I don't feel like it, and that's it, and that's why.
Yeah.
No, I don't really. I don't want to have to explain it, and I don't want to. I don't want to argue it. I just don't feel like it.
Yeah, and before I came here, I was really thinking hard about Enneagram combination types and compatibility, and I came to the conclusion, like without even really thinking of you as a 7, that 7s get along best with 7s.
I mean, we understand and respect each other's petulance, basically. We're both petulant in the same way. And we're both not petulant in the same way, too. So it's like we take responsibilities for our words more readily than our actions. See what that means.
Yeah. My actions matter, too. But
yeah, me too. But, you know, neither of us are SE polar. It's like we were in Trader Joe's, and I made a joke about an INTP worker at Trader Joe's holding a bag of chips and standing there like about to put it on the shelf, but like lost in thought and just standing there holding the bag, you know. And Rachel said, "Oh my God, I worked with an INTP at Trader Joe's. It was totally like that."
Yeah, it was.
Neither of us is SE polar. We both have some basic respect for SE.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And respect for the need for it. But fundamentally, we can forgive each other shortcomings in the SE area. Like if I say we're going to go to Denny's in the morning and we don't make it, and I'm not ever going to hear about it. She'd probably have forgotten about it anyway, right?
It's the fucking truth.
But if I say the wrong words to her, that's going to be a serious problem for a long time for both of us. Yeah. We're very careful in our words. And this whole Mercury in retrograde thing, which trips me out because I think I called it at some point while it was happening. I was like, is this Mercury in retrograde or what?
Yeah.
Because it was just like all this rage. I broke handles on 2 of my bags. 2 of them. In the same fashion. Both of them. Like this, the handle broke off, you know?
Yep.
And it's just a bunch of shit like that.
A bunch. I lost my phone in a Lyft car. And then Eric.
I got a surprise $700 charge from Dollar Rent-A-Car.
Yep.
It was a lot of shit going on. And I got sick.
Yep. You said it felt like Mercury retrograding stuff.
And like the email system that's supposed to send me texts and emails to my phone for whatever reason, I never was able to get texts the whole tournament. I had to check my email all the time, and I missed the first one I was supposed to go to because I didn't get any texts, and I assumed I was getting texts like everybody else. probably a Sprint thing. Sprint's a shitty network. Joel and Henry, what's the big deal here? I don't, whatever it is you think. Hey, we don't use that word, Jolin. We use the word gaff.
Gaff.
And NI is not gaff.
I mean, it can be. I like rainbows. I like rainbows a lot.
Rainbows aren't gaff.
No,
Okay?
that.
Joaquin Phoenix is gaff.
Yeah, he's gaff. That's gaff.
There's nothing gaff about rainbows.
Well,
We saw a rainbow in
babe.
Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Nothing gaff about enjoying the hell out of that rainbow.
No, I was so happy. It was one of the things that I was hoping to see while I was there. You see him on all the license plates, so I was like, I really hope to see one in Hawaii. And I did. Because we went to the volcano.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'll admit it. I'm going to admit it. Even though my SI screamed no to this.
That's why a lot of people don't like to order it when they're, sober.
But it's not gaff for me. I love the shit. It's delicious.
But that's what's it's becoming not so gaff because it's actually like tastes good. We're like other like Duels is just basically water. It's not you can't it's a fine first attempt at non-alcoholic beer. But even when you're sober, you just know that there's other better things you can drink.
Listen, Dolan, you forgot rule number 1. No pooping during my live streams. Doing what they're doing, Joel and Henry. Ham Bone is out boning some ham, and Countess is, I don't know, bossing her surfs around. Okay, well, if you just took it, that means you were doing it during this live stream. That's just was more than 45 minutes ago, in which case your just doesn't really apply, okay? I think just has to be 20 minutes or less ago. Isaiah Rude, rule number 1.
Oh!
Are you going to defy me? I'm level 9 enlightenment. You can't defy me. No, you're not. I said no. Level 9, okay? That means I say what you can do and not do.
He got some censor on his ass.
No, Dolan, no! Oh my God! Everyone stop right now! No, stop! No, I said no! But my authority!
Yeah, that's what it is. It's totally ENTP against ENTP. And it mostly happens in words.
Yeah. Thanks, Dolan. I practice. I'm practicing my F5.
Benson did make an appearance. Yes, he did. My breast.
Hey, Eric. Yes, Rick. Can I take over for a little while? All right, Rick. Fine. I'll go smoke a cigarette. Hey, two tards. It's me, Rick Benson. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is it correct? Or is it back? Okay. Anyway, we're just here to tell you in two tards to get off the computer and go outside and do something. Okay. I just got back from hanging out with these chicks. We were drinking some beers, humping and stuff. And then I rode my skateboard down a hill or something like that. I don't know. You know that kind of shit I do. All right, let's see what you and two tards are saying here. What have I done? It's the SE Overlord. That's right, Chase McDude. Don't say my name unless you're ready to play the game. All right. Let's see what else. I love everyone's comments. Typical for an ISFP, Sarah. You looking good. Hey, how you doing? I'm Rick Benson. Nice to meet you. I'll go check out your channel later. You wait here for me. I'm gonna go play pool with my friends. Okay, what type is Duffy Duck? Hey Dolan, how's it going? What are you again? Ian Tuatard? I think so. All right. Let's see. Zaylen Black. Hey, looking good. How you doing? Me and Sarah are gonna meet up later. You want to come hang out with us? Me and Sarah ISFP. Yeah, you're in West Virginia. She's in Phoenix. We'll meet in like, I don't know, let's say Wyoming. Sound good? In like 8 hours. I'll meet you there. Big sky country. We'll go horseback riding and hump. Let's see who else can I recruit to my party. Let's find out. I'm gonna get some Jack Daniels and some cocaine. All right, don't worry. I'll come with supplies. Let's see. Who's this person? Flow State. Flow State, are you a chick? You talking about your menstrual flow? Is that a chick? Yeah. I want to see a picture. Send nudes. That all the chicks you got around here? God. Oh, there's Hambone. Hambone was here the whole time, turned out.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Sarah Pereira. Hey, how's it going? You want to meet up with me and Sarah ISFP and April? And maybe that chick Flow State. I don't know if it's a chick or not, but we'll see. Do you want? Oh, right on. Okay, well, if you're in heavy flow right now, then you're not invited. But when that's over, yeah, you can come. Well, you can come too. You got any cocaine? Bring it. 8 to 10 hours to get to Chicago. Well, you know, charter a jet. To get a piece of Rick Benson, ladies tend to be pretty willing to charter jets. All right. You see this? You see this head of hair? You see this jaunty hair toss? You can't resist this. Come on. Come on, girls. Let's go. Take off your clothes. Okay, Rick, that's enough. Enough Rick Benson. God, you're such a douche.
You do such a good ESTP.
You'll change your mind about unloading my flow when you're a drunk asshole. Don't even drunk text me on day 3. Oh no, Rick had to go. Eric came back. I'm back now. Good stuff, Taylor. You look like you're about ready for a bowl, my darling.
I am. I'm picking it apart.
Here's the thing. There's something about weed that I want to tell a story about that's related to Goldilocks. Okay. So Goldilocks, she went and she tried three bowls. One was too hot. One was just right. One was too cold. My point is, there's nothing wrong with any of those unless the one that's too cold literally doesn't catch fire and produce smoke. There's not really any such thing as burning your weed too hot or just right. As long as it gets on fire and the smoke comes out, you should still get high. You shouldn't complain about it.
Was I a complainer in this scenario?
No, Goldilocks was the one who complained. She had 3 bowls at the Paris house. She said one of them was too hot, one was just right, one was too cold, right?
Yeah.
My point is, unless it's so cold that it's not even on fire and smoking, then she really doesn't complain. Who cares if you use a blowtorch or a regular lighter or whatever? It doesn't matter. It's still hot enough to burn. It's hot enough.
Stop! We just left into the weed and it fucking went everywhere.
No reason for her to complain.
I agree.
Now, the chairs, I don't blame her for complaining about. I don't want a chair that's too hard. I don't want a chair that's too big. I just want a light chair, you know, but come on, you're being pretty picky. You're like, I don't like that kind of lighter.
You didn't even have a lighter. I've had to use matches before.
Yeah. It's like, well, I don't use matches. I'm Goldilocks, bitch. You bring me a map gas torch, or I'm not smoking that. Then they do bring her the map guest. She says, "It's too hot." God, this girl. She said she was a weed connoisseur. I had no idea. Are you done breaking that apart and dropping it on the floor, Rachel? Mostly she's dropping it on the floor, but that's fine.
I was doing so good. You don't understand. I love breaking it off. It's one of my favorite things.
I'm only making jokes. I'm not actually criticizing you at all. Because you're my precious perfection bucket. You're my fondness dumpster. Into which I dump all my fondness.
Oh, I love my fondness.
My chin fits into your eye socket.
It does, and mine into yours.
It does. You should show the people. See how well it fits? I could just sleep like this all night long. I love it when you chin my socket, Rachel.
I love it too.
Yeah. If you're like us, you know that in a real intimate relationship, a couple's not afraid to chin each other's socket. Okay? If you think that's not okay, if you think that's too body, you've never had a good socket chinning. Because I think Rachel and I will both tell you, oh my God, that chin socket action is hot.
Yeah.
It is. It's hot.
It is.
We also have other places where we fit in various spots, like just in general, like under the arm, like your hip. My hip fits into your hole on the side of you. You know how chicks go like this, like they have like a scoop out part where their waist is. That's where my hip fits into. It fits perfectly into the scoop out part of her waist.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I glove my Rachel with my mittens and my heart. Isaiah Rude, you will never know what real love is if you're getting your sockets chinned professionally, okay? They may seem like they know what they're doing, but there's no care there. There's no real genuine love, okay?
Yeah, that ain't that truth.
When Rachel chins my socket, she does it so gently. She takes such loving tenderness to the thing. It's amazing.
And it actually is temperature-wise hot. Like my chin is like, remember, like we sat there for a while with my chin in your eye, and it got like really hot.
Mm-hmm. Well, we both have had to go to the hospital with second-degree burns on our eyeballs from chin socketing.
Imagine explaining that. I love myself. You go, girl.
Professional chin artist and socket artist. You cannot possibly socket your own chin. You chin your own socket. You can't chin your own socket. Nobody can chin their own socket, Isaiah Rude. Okay? So you can get a fake chin. You can go to the chin socket store and get a fake chin.
You know it.
Very flexible chin. Lies, Isaiah Rude. Nobody's gonna believe your chin is that flexible. No, you do not, Dolan. You guys, stop it! Nobody can chin their socket. It's funny.
Very offensive.
Okay, Dolan, that's cartoons, okay? That's not real life. In real life, nobody can do that, okay? Nobody can really chin their own socket.
I'll take that because
it's clogged, though. But it's clogged though, Rachel.
Oh no.
Rachel, wait.
No.
Oh no. It's clogged. There you go.
Thank you.
Now it's unclogged. Let me break up some weed for you because it took you like 4 hours to break up one piece of weed.
Yeah.
We also have this thing. It's like made to like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's like made to like take the weed and like make it like break up.
Yeah. How did I forget?
Okay, look, Isaiah. It doesn't matter how professionally you do it. You can't socket your own. I mean, you can't chin your own socket. Okay. You could socket your own chin, but it wouldn't be your eye socket. It would have to be some other kind of socket.
Okay, so Isaiah Root gets points for bringing it back to the topic of our YouTube video.
I mean, I think the link's pretty obvious. If we're talking about socket chinning, then we're talking enlightenment. Those things seem to go hand in hand.
True, they do, right?
You know, it's like if I talk about chihuahuas, you're going to think about little dogs, right?
Yep.
If I talk about socket chinning, whatever the fuck it's called, you're going to think enlightenment naturally.
Yeah.
How do I close the emoji menu? A question that man has asked for all of humankind. Since cavemen drew emojis on walls to avoid speaking to one another, people have asked this question. How the F do I close the emoji menu? I wondered that myself, if I recall correctly, Dolan. I believe I've had the same problem. Where are the regular letters again? Where are the regular words and letters that I can type?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to express only in various facial emotion displays.
Yes.
But you have it because you're going to smoke it. Yes, Joel Nathan Henry, real enlightenment. Some people will try to sell you a bag of tricks and snakes and sticks and bones. But what I have to offer is something better. Real stage 9 enlightenment. That's full-blown enlightenment with an additional 3 stages beyond conventional full-blown enlightenment. So you may be familiar with the existing enlightenment models, which can guarantee you as high as 3rd or 4th level enlightenment. One has even claimed to reach 6th level enlightenment, which they have deemed full-blown enlightenment. But what am I offering you today? Level 9 enlightenment, and you can't go any higher than that without going to 2 digits, and that's not allowed. Everybody knows that. Level 9 enlightenment. Sarah ISFP. How many of my symposiums have you taken so far? Each one of those can guarantee you up to half a level or 3/4 of a level, depending on the symposium.
Yes.
Yes. Rachel's been to some of my most secretive symposiums. She knows how much enlightenment they bring. She knows. Yeah. You remember that time I went, oh, I really felt the enlightenment coming in. It was very magical.
My aura was magenta.
It was. It vacillated between magenta and cereal and Indian grain.
Cereal.
Those are the 3 colors of her aura. You know.
I do love cereal.
Cereal, Indian grain are subtly different shades of beige. Magenta, of course, being magenta. If you're not convinced that I have reached true stage 9 enlightenment, then Rachel will verify for you that my anus is pure periwinkle.
It is.
Purest shade of periwinkle you'll ever see. Which one of those famous designers was it that called me up the other night asking to take a glance at my anus so he could be reminded what the truest shade of periwinkle was? Was it Calvin Klein? Is he still alive?
Yes, he is.
It must have been him.
It is.
I think it was him, yes.
Yes.
He's still making jeans.
Yes, he is.
Calvin Klein still makes jeans.
Yeah.
Do people still buy them?
Oh, yeah.
He's still a popular designer?
Yeah.
Does everybody else think of them as an 80s thing? Or is that just me because I'm from the 80s?
I think of him from the 90s.
You think it was a 90s thing?
Yeah.
What decade do you, viewer who's here in the live chat, associate with Calvin Klein? 80s, 90s, zeros, 10s, 70s?
Oh my god, it's so weird. Zeros, tens.
Was Jesus enlightened? You know, here's the thing. The records before about 350 AD for all licenses all the time were destroyed in the Great Fire of 350. That we would have a record of all people who were enlightened prior to the year 350 AD had the Great Library of all licenses all the time, Drea, not burned to the ground in a tragic fire in the year 350. Because of that loss of data, we'll never know for sure. But I'm assuming yes. I'm assuming level 9, maybe even level 9.1, maybe level 9.08. But I mean, that's just speculation. We'll never know because the Great Library burned to the ground in the year 350. It's like these sort of historical truths and facts, they're revealed to me on a day-to-day basis. They help construct our shared history of one of the greatest institutions known to mankind. All licenses all the time. Long may it last. Sarah says 80s. See, I say 80s too. I think Calvin Klein is an 80s guy. Is it actually a guy named Calvin Klein?
Yeah.
Is that just a name? Okay.
Yeah,
it's not just a brand name. It's his actual name.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, what spiritual gurus ENFP are there any? What do you mean by spiritual guru? Do you mean people who purport themselves to be a spiritual guru, or do you mean people that I think you should listen to?
Ooh. Good question.
The former, I'm sure there are shit ton. The latter, I can't think of any. But that's just me at the moment. It's like I know there are plenty of wise ENFPs out there, and also ENFPs who, in certain circumstances, are absolutely the wiser of the two ENXPs. Right? There's lots of things in life about which ENFPs are wiser than ENTPs, and there's lots of things in life about which ENTPs are wiser than ENFPs. And here's the thing: both types focus on the kind of things that they're better at, and they prioritize. So it's like ENFPs spend most of their life doing things that being an ENFP serves relatively well to do. Similarly, or likewise with ENTPs. And both types, because they're SI users, mistake their own experience for kind of the default and assume that ENFPs I might assume ENFPs seem to be doing things wrong. Well, they're not doing things wrong. They would be doing things wrong if they were doing them on my field and my frame, but they are actually not doing them on my field or frame at all. They've got their own field and frame because they're ENFPs and that's how they operate. So, it's going to be hard for me to point to an ENFP that I think people should listen to, particularly, because I'm always going to think. I mean, look, some central messages of ENFPs it's important to hear. And I think in some ways they're best served to critique excessive TI. It's like it is important to consider FI considerations and to not just be all like, well, right is right, is wrong, wrong, and too bad, and none care about your feelings. It's like it's better to be a more complete person that's more considerate and more concerned about people's actual experience, including their feelings, even though it sort of runs afoul of my core values in some instances anyway. It's like to be concerned about someone's feelings when the communicative outcome is very clear to me. It's like when the logic and stuff lands clearly inside A, and the person whose feelings I need to be concerned about is arguing side B. It's difficult for me to think, okay, their feelings are still a relevant consideration, even though they're obviously and stubbornly and annoyingly insistent on being wrong, you know, which happens sometimes. Um, I have to remember that they are completely wrong because my frame is so excluding their stuff, right? It's like, I can't believe how shitty you are at this game, tall, skinny person. Well, it's because you designed the game for extremely short, heavy people. So I am shitty at this game. You're right. But it's like you intentionally designed it for me to be shitty at, basically. So it's like that way for both types with each other a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm thinking. Superbly elaborate answer.
Mm.
Yeah, I have trouble making non-elaborate answers. That's what NI is for. Um, what can an ENFP learn from an ENTP? That TI can get to the same place FI can get to. You know, it's like there's a lot of common ground we can reach because both FI and TI are in favor of the individual over the group, basically. There's, you know, FI people say, no,
Mm-hmm.
but their feelings matter, even though they're an individual and they're not being cooperative, they're having bad FE and they're not going along with the group or whatever. Their independent autonomy matters. TI thinks the same thing. I don't care if all the experts say this. I'm right, and this is why. And if they want to be right, they can beat my arguments. That's TI version of FI, right? So
Mm.
why are you saying stop, Eric? I don't understand. Um, so it's like TI and FI both have the same kind of stubbornness, but from a totally different angle. But we toxic alert. What are you talking about? A radioactive alert? No, I'm talking about how we both support the individual from a different angle. And sometimes we can get annoyed at the other party for using what we consider to be the wrong angle and forget that we're fundamentally allies against communitarianism. Now, it can be a challenging bridge to cross the specifics of that because sometimes the anti-communitarian FI of the ENFP can mistakenly manifest as support for communitarianism, which is they think is
Oh,
helping the
stop.
individual, but isn't. But whatever. That's not the
Yeah,
point. The
you're
point is
true
we're fundamentally
though.
on the same
I'm
side in some
sorry,
way.
you were right.
Who? Talk to this guy, Dolan?
No,
Me?
you.
Oh. I think Dolan thought I was going to go toxic, which means I think he thought I was going to start tearing into ENFPs, which
Oh.
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying the thing to learn from each piece is that ability and desire to find find narrative bridges if allowed to, you know. And something. Well, I mean, you get that. That's when you have a mature ENFP and a mature ENTP.
Ooh.
Is the mature ENTP is not going to try to hammer his advantage with the ENFP. So it's like I know I can beat you up with TI, but I also know that I don't want to do that, and that's counterproductive. And then the FI tool is going to have to be like, I know that I can conflate sometimes people and ideas. I'm going to make an effort to keep them separate. But I just said that's the answer to that question. It's a good question to ask there about finding narrative bridges. What it means is FI person decides to try to keep separate the people and ideas, and the TI person tries to remember that it's people who are saying the ideas, basically, and we have to worry about them as well. No entry. Exclamation. What is your 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 attachment to emojis at the moment of alarm and concern? Emojis of alarm and concern. I think that's the category that should be called. How can I get my INFJ and INTJ siblings to not butt heads constantly? Well, what you need to do is to remind the INFJ that the INTJ will not do the mirroring stuff that is expected as the bare minimum from an INFJ with the FE tool. Which is to say, let's say the INTJ is mad and starting to yell a little bit. And let's say the INFJ is starting to yell at the INTJ back and there's a little yelling going on. And then the INFJ wants to de-escalate the argument. The INFJ will talk more quietly and try to basically demo the mood that she wants the other person to take on. And if you have somebody who's an FE user who mirrors, even if it's backslop, but in some place other than polar, there's going to be some mirroring, then she'll get some success with that. She'll be able to control the other person's mood by relying on the native mirroring quality of human beings of the mood of the people around them. That native quality, though, is least expressed in an FE polar. And so it's like, what's going to happen is the INFJ is going to continually expect a little basic ground level cooperation would be nice here. Is going to be the basic feeling of the INFJ. While the feeling of the INTJ is you keep doing irrelevant stuff to what I'm saying, which is probably basically saying to the INFJ, my tool function is your polar, and I'm trying to explain what's wrong with you, okay? That's not how you deal with interface situations, not the way you're doing it. This is all, that stuff you're doing is just manipulative lies. Whereas stuff I'm doing is real solvency. It's like INTJ, INFJs are going to have a problem because INFJ is going to keep trying to use their tool function, which is going to fall on deaf ears. INTJ is going to keep trying to use their tool function, which is going to fall on deaf ears. Rachel's going to go up to talk to the INTJ and say something and mention some whatever is going on in her life. And the INTJ is going to turn it into a problem that she needs to solve, even if she didn't express it that way, or turn it into a goal she needs to attain, or some other way to fucking fix her life because they have no other means of social interaction, except to, or they'll talk about ideas. When they're talking about ideas, Rachel will think like, I like this INTJ. They're like me. They have, a holistic sort of about ideas. But then when they're talking about people, Rachel has no idea what to do with this INTJ because they're not responding like people.
Yeah. That's why your advice about like interfacing, like the INTJ, like if they just like mirror what the other person wants, how it wants to be, then the conversation will be much more rational.
Well, they won't do that, though, really. INTJ just won't do that, really. They won't.
I don't.
They won't decide to use FE. Is basically what you're saying. If they just decide to use some FE, then things are going to be a lot more rational.
Yeah, but you're dead on. Like that's exactly how it is.
Isaiah Rude. Yeah, he's very annoyed by her FE Meanity Man. So he retaliates by TE Meanity Man. Just constant, you have no FE. And he goes, well, what about your TE thing you didn't consider?
Oh, God.
Sounds miserable.
Yeah.
Both are just like, be like me. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
INFJs are difficult to find. All the understanding has to be done by the INFJ, and I can see why they wouldn't get along as the INFJs. Well, it's true the FETI person seems to take on more of the burden of the communication stuff. But remember, there's a correlative burden, which is, as siblings, the INFJ is much more likely to fail to take care of himself in some fashion. Yeah. Right? And the INTJ will be there to help when need be and stuff like that.
True.
So, the burden will end up being carried by both parties at some point, some way. Is it true that INFJs are telepathic? Telepathic? I mean, like, what does that mean exactly? Does that mean,
what does that mean exactly?
Isn't telepathy like lifting things with their mind? Like lifting objects?
I don't know. Communication from mind to mind.
They are photogenic.
Thank you. That's me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're photogenic.
I like to think I am.
Photogenic. Oh, that's good. I want the telekinesis. We still haven't gotten to the gist of telepathy, though. What's telepathy? Telepathy?
Yeah, telepathy.
Is that sending your thoughts across space and time? Is it like telephone magical powers? Hello, Rachel? Like me going like this? Mm-hmm. Rachel going, yes, Eric? We're talking with our minds now. Yes, we are. So we don't move our lips and say words. Is that telepathy?
I think
What could ENFPs learn from INFJs? Rachel, what do you have to teach the ENFPs of the world? Besides arithmetic.
That sometimes, oh my gosh, sometimes the signs that are red flags are there for a reason, and you're better than that.
Don't let your red flags drip blood.
Yeah.
Don't let red flags make you drip blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the best expression ever, but it'll have to do until I think of a better one.
Yeah, just, I mean, if
Nothing wrong with red, but I'm still working. That's version 2, okay? It's still
red. We'll see. Be cool. That's another thing for ENFP. See cool. NIFE on paper would be the ones in society dealing with telepathy. I really don't know. Understanding patterns in a limited way allow the INFJ to get into the same thinking pattern as the person mirrored. Possibly. And we are back. What was your answer, Rach? Hey, 123. Just stay cool, 123. That's my advice for ENFP. I love ENFPs. Robin Williams was a big deal in my childhood. Personal experience. Cool. Phony. Ditto, Sarah Prayer. Yeah. I never heard of them. Phony? I don't get it, Dolan, actually. Hey, say cool. In what sense, though? I don't know. Just keep on being you. And Eric is thinking of one for red. Chase, dude, I think it's very easy to read someone, especially if I know them well. It is a talent, I can say. That FE, it is FE. Good call, Dolan. As we can appear telepathic. Telephonic? I got you, Dolan. Be yourself, girl. Haha. No thanks, Rach. I don't know. Okay, so advice for 123 is that if someone is playing emotional games with you, stop the games. You're better than that.
Don't pick up rattlesnakes. Good advice for anybody. Even if he's
That is great.
They'll bite you. It's poisonous. You don't even want to get into that. Just leave them alone.
That is great advice. You made me.
Mm-hmm.
Who's best boyfriend?
You know what time it is? It's 20 minutes past our scheduled nap time.
Yeah.
We need to nap because in just about 2 hours, we're going to have to go out to dinner. So, I'm pretty sure we're on the same page here. Am I correct? It's like, we want to take a little nap before we go to dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep in mind, we took a nap before lunch.
Nice.
So,
I feel lucky.
that's type 7. Goodbye, everybody.
Type 7.
We're on the parade.
It is so, yes. Cup the hand, wait.
Meow-diddy-meow.